Okay, we're here post-game after the Yellow Jackets beat the Mount Union Purple Raiders tonight 67-50. Head coach Cheri Harrer sitting in the middle with Kasey Hughes on her right, Kara Marshall on Coach's left. Coach, we'll start with you and your opening comments on the game.
Just so proud of our overall team effort. We talked ahead of time about the team that plays the hardest, plays the most together is going to win, and more importantly, the team, if we go out and play great defense, defense is the great equalizer, and that neutralizes talent, and I thought our kids played really, really hard defensively.
Kasey, you had a career night tonight, 25 points. A huge chunk of those came early in the first half. It felt like there was one particular stretch the first half. You hit a couple threes, you were really getting in a good rhythm. What was it about that instance of the game where you felt really comfortable?
I think that's part of the game where we got a few stops on defense, and that really does help. We talked before the game about hard defense leads to good offense, so I think in that part of the game we got a few steals, we got a few stops, and that led to miscommunication in transition, and that's when I was able to hit those open shots, but it really started on defense.
Kara, you are sort of in a versatile role because you guys as a team have dealt with some injuries, and I feel like you're one of the players that's been bounced into a couple of different places. How do you try to just stay focused on whatever your job is on any given day?
I think no matter if I'm the 1 through 4, whatever group we have out there is the group that's going to get it done. I rely on my teammates a lot. They help me out and tell me where I need to go half the time. But I think just sticking together as a team is what leads to success.
Coach, what's the hardest part about dealing with a stretch where you've got not one or two, but several players that aren't maybe able to go on a given night, and yet you're kind of learning that this team has some depth. You don't just have extra bodies to throw in. Your depth is actually depth.
Yeah, and we knew that coming into the season. I just thought it'd be deeper than we are at the very moment. But yeah, the toughest part about it is figuring out substitution patterns because it changes game to game, it seems like this year. But I give credit to these guys. No matter what we asked them to do, whatever role we had, Kasey had to play some point guard over the weekend and doesn't even practice there. Like whatever we've asked them to do, they just go out and do it with no questions asked and play great defense. And I'd like to think the way we play on offense with a motion-based system, it doesn't matter who's out there, that we can still continue to play. But I give all the credit to the kids and the way they bought in and how hard they play and how they stick together.
I'm curious, maybe a question for both of you. At a forward position, right? Rachel Wommeldorf starts basically every game, but in terms of minutes played, she's right around 13 or 14 a game. Sydney Diedrich wasn't able to go tonight. I thought Megan Scheibelhut played really well. What's it like as a guard to play with forwards on any given trip up the floor where maybe somebody has different strengths or weaknesses? You know, maybe Megan and Rachel aren't exactly interchangeable players, but they're both having effective seasons.
I think height really helps. Their height helps us when we dive off screens from the top of the key. The way they run well really helps us as guards, and the way that they move. We don't have much lack in speed because we're really fast. We work on that all the time. So I think that the 4s and the forwards and all the 5s are doing a really good job.
I would add to that, regardless of what post is out on the court, I think we all absolutely trust 100% they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. We practice a lot. Footwork, like getting their open shots, getting to the T spot. So they absolutely know, and we trust them to be in the right spots when we do our crazy drives and trying to get in the middle. So it's pretty awesome having depth in that regard.
Coach, it feels like you're about to go into a weird break here because it's longer than usual. You're not going to play another game until January 2nd. How important was it because of that break to make sure, regardless of getting the win, to make sure you felt like you finished the first half of this season on a good note?
Yeah, well, yeah. It's huge. It's huge. It gives us momentum. Everybody's feeling good about things. I'm glad we have 2 weeks. Hopefully we can come back a little healthier. Yeah, a little more full strength. But yeah, it's just the way the schedule worked out this year. But it's worked out in our favor. You know, what are we, 9-1, 10-1 with the only loss to Thomas More, shorthanded. If you would have told me before the season that would be our situation right now, I'd sign up for that in a heartbeat. These guys have exceeded my expectations as far as how hard they play and what we're doing defensively, and hopefully we can just continue to build on that as we come back from break.
Last thing for each of you two, I want to ask you about the schedule. You kind of know on paper what you think you're going to play at the beginning of the season. It's no secret a lot of the non-conference teams have had really good resumes. Traditionally, they're very good teams. Obviously, Thomas More has been a national power the last few years. How would you evaluate the way you guys have played, given the strength of schedule you've seen so far?
I think we've played up to our potential totally, especially with the people, like every single game I think we've dropped off someone, or practice I think we've dropped off someone.
Seems like it.
Yeah, so being able to push through that adversity and drive through that has totally exceeded all expectations. So I'm really proud of where we are so far, especially in non-conference.
Before the season, Coach told us that this schedule was going to be tough, and we knew that going in. Non-conference has been tough, but we've pulled out. And I think OAC, every single night you got to show up and show out, because we got a target on our back, so we got to keep going and keep working.